Hello, everyone, and thank you so much for your patience. I've been stuck in a traffic jam for I don't even know how many minutes, but thanks to Ollie. Thank you, Oliver, for being here and telling everyone that I was on my way. I was on my way, and this time, the one and only time, I'm late, not because of my fault. It was not my fault this one single time. So, thank you so much for waiting for me, and we shall begin without further ado. Our first Blitz game of the day. Are you guys following the Batu Chess Olympiad? Just in brackets, do let me know in the chat. I will be playing games, but you can tell me about your favorite teams at the Olympiad. And shout out to the commentator of the Chess Olympiad, my other half, Sopika Miss Tactics. I'm so proud of her. She is doing an amazing job. I know how difficult it is to commentate for so many hours. And today the main game, one of the main games, was the game of her husband, Anish Giri, against Fabiano Caruana. So not an easy job to cover all those exciting matches. So many games to follow at the Chess Olympiad. Anyway, as I told you, without much banter as an intro, I shall start my first games because you guys have been waiting for so long. So I shall abort this game against Claudia. Thank you for the game, Claudia. Always a pleasure. And I shall accept my first challenge of the day. Challenge me with increments so that I can be talking during the game. That's all I'm asking. I see a new name, premium member King Wang. I think we haven't played yet, so I'm accepting your challenge. It's a 3 plus 2, 3 minutes plus 2 seconds increment. I'm playing the Ruy Lopez, Spanish, as you also may call it. Oh, interesting that he plays immediately this way. I will still go for my favorite setup, which is with d3. And we transpose to the d3 variations. a4, it wasn't necessary immediately, but normally when the pawn is on b5 and you play with the d3 setup, then white will want to push a4 at some point. And it also helps me to attack that pawn, put some pressure on the b5 pawn, and if b4, I'm gonna jump to d5. And these positions are always very rich to play, even though you might find them, depending on what's your repertoire, but I feel like players who don't play e4, e5, for those of you, it might seem boring from the outside because often the structure is symmetrical, the pieces are the same, but believe me, these are very rich positions. I could take with the pawn, but then my bishop would be stuck on b3. It would have been a very passive piece in case of e takes d5, therefore I take back with the bishop. I'm creating a pin on this diagonal. So that's a nice piece. My other bishop could go to g5, for instance. You see, he's afraid of the pin. He defends the bishop. I don't think it was necessary immediately, but he does so. And I shall start attacking immediately. What do you guys think about this move? Look at this. I'm telling you, these positions can be very rich. I'm attacking the f7 pawn, and if castle, queen h5 wins on the spot because I would be threatening mate on h7 and the f7 pawn as well. So I believe my position is already winning only after 12 moves. He cannot defend the f7 pawn properly. Rook f8 would run into at least knight takes h7, if not queen h5 or both. So this easy it is sometimes to win in e4, e5. I can't shout that I'm winning just yet. My position is winning, but I can't declare that I have won the game. That's what I was going to tell you, that it's never over until it's over. So over-optimism doesn't help. I should still play the best moves, but I'm telling you that the position is winning because he cannot defend the f7 pawn properly. Hi everyone in the chat. I'm looking at the chat, so you guys shall know that I am watching on Chess24, the chat. Please talk to me on Chess24 and not on YouTube. But you can of course leave YouTube comments if you are watching this as a replay. That's a different story because I'm not there when you're commenting on the replay. I think I'm not there. Maybe I'm there. Maybe I'm there. Who knows? Who knows? Queen f6, so that knight takes f7 is not winning material. It would have been a fork. But now I'm just thinking that, well, both moves look very tempting. If I take with the bishop, it's a check and he can never castle. If I take with the knight, it means that he will need to move the rook, and then I have bishop g5 and I'm almost winning the queen, but then my knight gets stuck on f7. So I think I will simply take with the bishop. He has to move the king, and now the easiest, in my opinion, is just to come back with the bishop. I'm thinking whether to place it again on d5 which allows knight d8 and the trade of bishops. Maybe I want to avoid that. If I want to keep the bishop, what the best seems to be for me is bishop to a2, even though it's funny. But if bishop b3, he would have had knight a5 attacking my piece. I want to keep this bishop alive because it's cutting his king. And now I'm jumping. Where shall I jump? To e6? That looks interesting. And then if I could take the bishop on c5, next move would be f4. I don't think he will give me the bishop, so I believe it's going to be knight e6 and bishop to b6 to defend the pawn on c7. But I can simply play king h1 to push f4, or another move I'm looking at is bishop to e3 to develop my bishop, and if we trade then the f file opens up. So both moves look very good. Bishop e3, knight d4 is one option for him if he wants to prevent the trade. That's something I shall consider. And if I take on d4, then he will be attacking my bishop. So I don't like much bishop e3, knight d4. Therefore, I'm going to play king h1 and I'm preparing to push f4. I don't think he can take on f2 because after bishop e3, his piece would have been lost. Have I lost my piece? Have I lost my knight? After saying that I was completely winning, I don't have a way back. I knew that the knight would be delicate on e6, but I didn't think it would happen this easily. Is this lost? No, it can't be lost. I believe my position cannot be lost, but maybe I'm in trouble. Guys, did I get myself into trouble? Whoa. And I think how to get out. Okay, I have a way, I think. Bishop d5. So when he takes on e6, I take his knight. He can't go to d8 or d4 because I'm gonna trade the knights, the one that's half dead on e6. I want to get rid of my half dead piece. And if he plays knight a7, then I push a5. So I think the only good move for him shall be knight a5, which is not too difficult to make. So after knight a5, I still need to figure out what am I going to do to compensate for the piece that I'm about to lose. So I had to play bishop e3 on the previous move. Now it's clear we are learning from our mistakes. Bishop e3 was a good move on the previous move. King h1 was too slow. My knight is not coming back from e6 and I don't have time for f4. So if he moves knight a5 and I play f4, bishop takes e6, f takes e5, queen takes e5, bishop f4. I have some attack. I think I shall do that because I have some attack. It's not what I was hoping for when I won a pawn and his king is on e7, so why didn't I play queen g4, by the way? I could have played queen g4. Ouch. Maybe I didn't have to lose the piece. Anyway, it's too late. Too late to think about that. Queen takes b2, I take on e6 and I give a check on g4. So that's my point. If queen f6, bishop takes d6 wins the queen. So I think I'm doing fine. I mean, his king is on e7, so it wouldn't be fair that I lose a piece and then I would lose the game. I think it's fair that with the king so exposed, I should have something, and that something is still a crushing attack with a piece down. But I need to win this game. I play e5 so that I can take on g7, because the queen from b2 was protecting the g7 pawn. That's my point. We don't have much time, neither my opponent nor I. Oh, I'm gonna take this. I'm in sacrificial mode. I'm taking everything. I could have pre-moved. Why did I not pre-move? Rook f7, king c8. Now I'm gonna do it with the queen so that... Uh-oh. No, I don't have more checks. Oh, now he can take on e5. Ouch. We don't have time. None of us. I'm not doing very well. I should have played this much better. Now rook f8 is a good move. Yeah. No, I misplayed this. I think I must have mismade. I'm just 2 pieces down, so it's completely lost. I could resign immediately. I will make a few more moves. Just to make a few more moves, because his king is still exposed and I've just got mated. Was it mate earlier on? Yes, it was mating 1 and none of us saw it. It was mating 1 forever. Like, it's mating 1 here. Nobody saw it. Here it's mating 1, queen h2. Rook h2 is also mating 1. Here as well, queen h2 and rook h2. I think both of us... First of all, congratulations, King Wang. This was an entertaining game. I wouldn't call it a good game, at least not from my side, but it was entertaining. I think in the final position, what's funny is that it felt like there was a pawn on the h file. At least to me, it felt like. I never thought about the h8 rook attacking the h2 pawn. So funnily enough, it was totally it's a blind spot for me in this position, the h-file, because normally there would be a pawn on h7, but not in this position. What went wrong? Over optimism. No, I was telling you that you shouldn't claim that you have won without having actually finished the game. So that's always an advice I'm giving myself to. The point, it wasn't about that. I knew I still need to make the best moves. What I didn't realize is that my knight was trapped already. So with the knight on e6, I had to be very quick. And I was telling you guys in this position that I had two candidate moves. Both of them with the aim of opening the f-file, because if I open the f-file, I believe my position is winning. So my idea was either king h1 f4, what I played in the game, or bishop e3. But bishop e3 I disliked because of knight d4. So if any other move, I'm gonna take on b6 and f4. And my knight is fine, because the c7 spot is available. But I thought that he would play knight d4, and I didn't like it so much. But it's much better than the game, because I can never lose the piece. I can trade, for instance, now with the knight. Or I can take with the bishop and then push f4, so that next move is f5 or e5 or both. So it's funny how I convinced myself that the move that should be the right move, bishop e3, was not so strong, even though it's developing and it's attacking at the same time. So two things that you will always want to achieve. But I felt like king h1 was a more precise move. And no, it was just dumb. It's a very silly move because it blunders the knight. I don't have time to push f4 because this is going to be taken. So this would have been similar to the game. The funny thing is that even after losing the piece, I think I should be winning. Let's see. I normally don't analyze this much post-mortem because I want to play as many games as possible, but I feel like this position is too exciting not to analyze it. So let's analyze with our human brains, no engines, this position. I think bishop d5 is interesting because it forces the knight away. Knight a5 is the only move. Any other move, I either save the knight, knight d8, knight d4, I'm saving my piece, or if knight a7, a5, I'm saving my piece again. So the only way to win the piece is knight a5. And here, first of all, I don't even have to lose the piece. I mean, I went nuts. I went nuts because I thought the knight was lost already. I can play queen g4 because the knight is on a5. So earlier on, in this position, without bishop d5, I was considering this, but knight d4, I'm all pinned. Maybe even like this. I mean, I can take on g7 with a check. Why did I not play this? No one knows. No one knows, Anna, why Anna did not want to defend that piece. I really don't know. I can't explain. I thought it was lost, so that's my explanation. I thought that here he would win it too, but it doesn't matter. Yeah, it doesn't matter that he can attack my bishop, for instance. Or maybe it does matter. Wait a second. I was telling you guys that it didn't matter because of queen g7 and such, but the bishop is in trouble. And if I play bishop to a2, b3, cutting the connection between the bishop and the knight, and I'm losing a piece. So after knight a5, probably it's too late to play queen g4 because my bishop will be attacked. And then my conclusion is that after bishop c8, I can play queen g4. My bishop is still safe because if b3, I shall take with the bishop. And when he attacks my bishop to threaten to win the piece, now I have a tempo. Queen takes g7 and my knight comes back through f5 or h5. So this should have been the way to play. But funnily enough, even after losing the piece with bishop d5, knight a5 and f4, I think I have enough. Because after bishop f4, the queen has to abandon the protection of the e6 square. He can't play queen f6 because of bishop takes d6, winning the queen. Therefore, what he plays should be the best. So, King Wang, I think you play the best move here, even though it looks very scary. Bishop takes, king takes, and queen g4. This is the game. I think white should be winning. Why is white not winning here? Because I couldn't calculate. What's the best move here, guys? Let me know. What do you think about this position? It's a piece down for white, but the black king is exposed. What do you think about this position? In my head, I'm in a traffic jam, yes. I'm not playing at the Batumi Chess Olympiad because I'm here, so it would be difficult to do both. e5 is just hanging after queen g4? What do you mean, vicious seal? I don't get it. Just bishop takes e6. What did I miss? Oh, it's... Oh. I'm silly. I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm still in a traffic jam in my head. It seems... Oh, you can just take on e6. Why did I think I'm protecting it? Okay. Then my thought from the game is good. My post-mortem analysis is completely wrong. Thank you, King Wang, and everyone else correcting me. This move never existed because this can be taken. Okay. Completely wrong. Forgive me. I'm not in my best, clearly. Clearly not in my best. I didn't even see that it's hanging. So first I blunder that it's thread, and then I don't see that it can be taken. Blind spot, or just simply a bad day, or both. Sometimes you can't explain why you make big blunders. That's the thing about chess. You have great days and you have bad days. Today, so far, in terms of my chess, seems to be a pretty bad day. Now, but then it means that the only way I can play is f4. And e5 seems to be really strong. So f4 and in this position, I think e5 looks really, really strong. I'm threatening queen takes g7 and g5. Here I went, maybe this is where I went wrong. Bishop takes g5. Maybe too much because I already sacrificed the piece. E takes d6 simply. Yes, I think you are right, Dr. Paradoxon. That looks like very strong. That looks very strong. Why did I not play this? Next move, this rook comes as well. All my pieces would have been attacking. Oh, this would have been... This should be winning. This must be winning with moves like this. Oh no. Oh no. Bishop takes g5 was a mistake then. Yes. In which position you guys are saying queen f7? I'm not sure. Anyway, I think this is the conclusion that I was telling you guys that even with the piece down, the king on e6, it has to be winning for white. e5, I still found that I thought it was a strong move, and I still believe it is a strong move, but after g5, I went very ambitious here. I thought that this should be winning because it looks winning. Maybe with rook f7 first, king c8. But how is this winning? It might not be winning because the king can hide on a7. If I start giving checks, it was gonna hide. So perhaps this whole bishop takes g5 is just wrong. It looks like it's strong because I have a queen and the rook against the sole king, but that king, if the king gets to c8, it survives. That's why I gave a check with the queen, so that he couldn't play king c8, but now king c6, and I have no more checks. So it was over. Well done, King Wang. You defended very well. Well done. Good job. Yes. So I'm going to play another game, because this has been a lot of post-mortem analysis, and normally I don't analyze this much, because I know that you guys want to play. Let's go for this game, Cratylus. I'm playing once again with the white pieces, 3+2. Cratylus, are you with us? It's your move. It's your move. It is your move. Can somebody wake him up? Okay. The French defense. You're kidding. My favorite opening. I always have mixed feelings when I need to play against my favorite opening. Mixed feelings. Because I like it a lot as black, but I also need to show that I know it well enough as white. So yeah, total mixed feelings about the French facing it as white. Oh, the e takes d5 variation, so it leads to isolated pawn structures. How shall I play against it? I'm just gonna play normal. I'm just playing this normal position. Once the bishop moves from f8, I usually recommend, in any isolated pawn structure, that's the moment, if you want to take on c5, now this is the moment to take, once the bishop has moved. So now I'm gonna take. And important, that once the bishop is in c5, you should castle. A move like knight b3 would be very silly, because bishop takes f2, picks up a pawn and destroys your king, because the b5 bishop is unprotected. So that's a trick that you shouldn't fall into. I know it very well because I have fallen into it a couple of years ago, but I did fall into it once. When you when you blunder in a painful way, you remember it. That's why blunders are great. They are great teachers. The more you blunder, the more you should learn. Okay, not just blunders, but I mean painful defeats in general. So those are memorable. It's memorable when you lose a game in a sad way. Unfortunately, it's memorable. I'm just gonna play normal, which means that I often like defending my d4 spot overprotected with c3 and such. I'm thinking whether I need h3, whether bishop g4 is something that should annoy me. c3, bishop g4, queen d3. Shall I care about that? Let's say I don't care about it. Maybe I should, but I will not care about it. You see, that's what he's playing. For black, he needs to create attack, obviously. That's what isolated pawns are about. I'm gonna push this because he was sometimes threatening with knight takes d4 and I want to take back with the knight, so I need protection over the h2 square. My queen on d3 is a little vulnerable now that the bishop is coming to g6, but it shouldn't be bad. So I'm just gonna develop this bishop and I can drop the queen back to d2 with bishop g6. They don't want to go back to the back rank, so that's why I'm developing the bishop to have a square for my queen. My bishop might come back to d3. In general, trades are good for me. Depending on what pieces, of course, and it's always concrete, but a very general rule is that when you play against the isolated pawn, trading minor pieces is something that you want, because the more minor pieces the player with the IQP, the isolated pawn, has, the more likely that he will manage to create attack. It's logical. The isolated pawn is a structural weakness. In order to compensate for it, you need dynamic play. In order to have a dynamic position, you need pieces, as many as possible, especially minor pieces, like the knights. So he's trading on d4, which I'm not sure why is he doing that, because I've just been telling you guys that trades are good for me. He wants me to take back on d4 with the pawn, but I will never allow that. I'm gonna take on g6 and I will take back on d4 with the queen if necessary. But one thing that he does well, maybe I should have played knight f5, that was tempting too. One thing that my opponent is doing well is that he's trading the knights. Because I was telling you that, yeah, trades in general are good for me, but depends on what we trade. Knights are very good in front of an isolated pawn, so I would have wished to keep this knight forever. But I can't because he's trading it. Knight takes, queen takes, and there his problem is that the pawn is hanging. If the pawn was protected, then he would be fine. Now, that is the big problem of black, that I have doubled on the d file, attacking the pawn. Next move, if I move the knight away, the pawn is hanging, and he cannot bring his rook to d8 because I'm keeping that square under control with my bishop from g5. He can't push f6 because that weakens the e6 square forever, and I will have knight e6 fork later. So it's not so easy for black to defend. Maybe bishop to e7, but that means more trades. Yeah, he plays bishop e7, and the idea is that he wants the d8 square for his rook. Should I take on e7 and then move the knight away, or just bishop f4? I was telling you about the trades, but that bishop, my bishop is more active, so I want to keep the bishop, even though, in general, I'm okay with trades. It's all about the quality of the pieces. Sometimes you just gotta care about the quality more. I think I'll just play rook e1 and ask the bishop how he's doing. This is logical, of course, and I have no time, so maybe I should just focus more, speak less. Not so easy. Not so easy to do that. Can he play d4? Because he's about to. He's got lots of pieces. Lots of pieces. If he can push d4 successfully, then he's okay. It seemed like he couldn't. I don't know if this was so... But yeah, now it's good because I'm gonna take. I'm gonna take on e8 if he plays rook e8, and I don't see another move for him. Rook e8, rook takes, queen takes. What? He could still play this? I thought he could not. But apparently he can. Okay, maybe this one is better. Just trying to put some pressure on my opponent. If knight c6, queen c5. I like that move. Knight f5, maybe still queen c5, because why not an endgame? I was telling you that I'm happy with endgames in general. Queen c5 or queen e5, both. I like both because the d5 pawn is the target forever, as always in the IQP. IQP meaning isolated queen's pawn. If you were wondering why I say IQP. Rook e8 or such, no, I would still play queen c5, I think. Threatening the pawn. He wants to trade. Okay, let's trade. And knight c5. Attacking the b7 pawn. He can't push it because the a6 pawn drops. So what's he gonna do? Defend it with the knight, but then, oh, it looks very passive. I'm gonna double on the d file. At least. What's this move about? I'm gonna take here and I'm threatening his rook. Oh, am I trapping my own knight again? Because apparently today I'm a master of trapping my own knight. I have had this trick to come back and I'm pinning everything. He can give a check on e2 if he wants to. Okay, I'm gonna just go for all the trades. Defend my second rank if he gives a check king h2, so I don't mind. Gonna come out through g3. This is a pawn up, so now I just gotta take my time and win this in style, hopefully. Let's see how to win this in style. Activate my rook is one thing I want to do. Not lose on time would be a second thing to do. Oh no, this was not the best way to activate my rook. Mate! I got mated in a rook endgame before. Goodness me, I was telling you guys I'm having a bad day. This is a horrible day. No way! I'm a pawn up. I'm a pawn up in a rook endgame and I get mated. Self-mate. Self-mate. Kudos to me for finding a mate. Goodness me, goodness me, goodness me. Cretilus, thank you for the game. Goodness me, I was telling you I should win this in style, but I won it for black in style before. I felt that this cannot be a good move because I need to activate my rook. This is not the way to activate the rook. Objectively speaking, this could still be a draw, but because his rook is active, mine is not, but I need to bring the king first. What is my king doing on g4? And I played g3 earlier. Like, I did everything. I did everything possible for black to give me mate. I bring my king to g4. I keep my h-pawn on h3. I push the other pawn to g3 to take away those two squares. And then I go b4. After which, I don't even realize that he's threatening mate. If I did, I would have played rook c6. I mean, I can still survive. It's not ideal because I'm dropping the pawn, but I can still survive. Goodness me, this was horrible. I had to play king f3. And now I'm just gonna show you. g3 is already silly, so I don't know why I pushed g3 to begin with. I wanted to play, I think, h4 or f4, but that's not the way to go. I think I just need to bring the king, and if he plays in a similar way, I will activate my rook because I'm threatening rook c6, and if he plays f6, I can trade my b pawn for his a pawn. So this would have been the strategy, to activate my rook in a moment when I can take the a pawn for the b pawn. This is what I wanted, but I didn't do it properly. I left my king on g4 and then I pushed b4. I don't know why, because b4 doesn't help to achieve this position where I have an a passed pawn and my king is not getting mated. Amazing stuff. Amazing stuff. Whoa. I have lost 2 games in hilarious ways. Today is the day when you guys will have lots of video material if you want to post it somewhere, or compilation about blunders. This can make it to any of those. Goodness me. Let's try to play some decent chess in the next game. Can I? I mean, after this, also, it affects your confidence. So you think that we are just robots, the streamers, that we are okay with whatever game. No, it affects everyone. We are humans, so I have feelings too, whether you believe it or not. I have feelings, and I would normally want to win a pawn up rook endgame. So I lost in style. Instead of winning in style. Did I click on the game? I thought I accepted a challenge. Dancing chess. At least I'm white in every single game, so thank you Chess24 for doing your best to compensate for my bad day. First I almost didn't arrive to my own show because I was in a traffic jam, and now I'm blundering in every single game. It's not my best day. But tomorrow I'm going on holidays. I have a mini holiday coming up, so at least I can be happy for that. I've been working non-stop for the past months, and so the last time I was on holidays was a 2-day holiday beginning of August. That's all my summer holidays summed up. A 2-day holiday, and every other week, including weekends, I have been working. So I'm very happy that I earned a mini holiday. At least I could take the time to go on a mini holiday, which includes a streamer meetup in the Netherlands. So the main occasion is the meetup. I don't even know what I'm playing actually. I'm just making random moves. I mean, after these 2 games, I don't play like this normally against the Pirks. I'm just making things up. So I was telling you guys, because now I'm in chatty mode, after playing so badly, I wanna chat, that I'm going to a meetup. That's the main occasion for going to the Netherlands. But before the meetup, I'll stay 1 day in Amsterdam with a very good friend of mine, Alexandra. And once the meetup is over, she comes with me back to Spain, and we're gonna spend 2 days in Barcelona. Barcelona is one of my favorite cities in Spain, even though I don't support their football club because I'm a Real Madrid fan. So obviously I cannot support Barcelona. Yeah, it's just the all-time rivalry. What do I wanna play? I'm totally uncertain what I'm doing here. You know, this is what happens when you lose 2 games in a very, very bad way. Yeah. Everyone can play, so do challenge me, but I can only accept 1 challenge at a time. I know today everybody will want to play against me because I'm clearly a wounded animal, so you want to hunt me down, but I can only accept 1 game at a time. Be patient and wait for your victory until I accept your challenge. No, I haven't lost this much confidence. I'm trying to make fun of my 2 losses. I think you should take everything with a hint of humor. So even when bad things happen, and this is not, I mean, losing games in chess, it's not the end of the world. There are worse things in the world, unfortunately. So first of all, have a perspective. Just put it in perspective always. A chess game is not the end of the world. Even if it feels like it's the end of the world when you lose the game, no. War, illnesses, losing a family member, and so on, those are real issues. Not a chess game. Even though chess is very important to you and to me and to all of the viewers, I believe, just make sure that every time you lose a game, you put it into perspective. Yes, it should hurt, because if it doesn't hurt, you will not learn from it. But remember that it's only a chess game, and in comparison to life, it's still nothing. It's still not a problem. So I try to always think of the bright side, whether it's in chess or in life. And I do recommend you try the same, because that makes life easier. Am I losing a pawn on e4? It does look like. It does look like I'm dropping that pawn. Can I compensate for it? Can I even compensate for the loss of that pawn? Well, let's trade this bishop at least, if he lets me. If he doesn't let me, I can play rook e1. So I think he will take, and then he catches my pawn. He will just simply capture the pawn on e4. Bishop takes, queen takes, knight takes e4. And I'm just a pawn down. Is it surprising that I will be a pawn down today? Not at all. Although in the other games, I lost after having a winning position. So maybe today my recipe for success is to get into a bad position and then swindle. Just make my opponent blunder. So everything I did so far, do it the other way. Have a bad position, lost position, and then pray for a blunder. This could be the recipe for the day. Okay, let's make a pre-move, because I haven't even pre-moved today. I feel like this would be a success. No, he doesn't take. He takes on e4 first. Logical, completely logical. I'm gonna take everything on e4. Because what else can I do? Nothing. I'm gonna take here as well. I'm gonna claim that I have the e file after rook e1. Oh, queen c3. Queen c3 is interesting. Let's make this move. It's tricky. You see, I'm a pawn down, but at least I have a one move trick. Discovered attack. Whoa! Also, I'm threatening knight b5 sometimes because there's this pin on the c file. Not completely hopeless. My position could be worse. I'm telling you, things can always be worse. I will make a tricky move. So tricky I am. I'm gonna play rook d1 and I'm threatening knight b5. Was it good to make this rook a d1 move and leave the a4 pawn unprotected? Certainly it wasn't, but I have just played it. I have just played it because today, apparently, my level is very low. This is one of those low-level days. Other days, it can be good or bad. Today is just very bad. But I'm laughing at it. You see, this is what I'm telling you. Take everything with humor. It could always be worse. You know, it could always be worse. Think about the bright side. Queen b6, one move I like. And if he just develops the bishop, maybe that's just good enough. Knight b5 was my idea, as I was telling you. He sees it, he spots it, that I wanted to play that move. Oh, and I don't have time either. So why would I have time? I'm just giving up the a4 pawn, because I want to play rook e1. Maybe it's nothing. And I wanted to attack the d6 pawn. I will defend this guy, so that next move it could be queen d3. But he will play d5 anyway, so what am I hoping for? Let's go and try to hunt. Let's try to hunt the a7 pawn down. He doesn't give it to me. Why would he? Now I'm attacking the b7 pawn. I badly want a pawn. He can move the bishop to defend it. Queen c7 would have made a lot more sense than what I did. So I don't know why I played what I played. I don't know why I played it. Now this is just a bad position. This is just... Well, I don't know what I'm doing with the queen there. Trying to annoy him, but it's not threatening anything. Let's trade and then come back. I've made a pre-move. Let's celebrate, guys. I have made one pre-move. One pre-move. You know, the small victories in life. I have made one pre-move. It's all about celebrating something. Let's not blunder queen e1 next move, Anna. Don't blunder it. This I can allow, but queen e1 would have been horrible. What am I doing? Not sure. What is he doing? Not sure. We are both low on the clock. He offered me a draw. Dancing chess. Why are you offering me a draw? You should win. You're a pawn up. Don't repeat. Oops. Dancing chess. I appreciate that you respect my normal chess level, but today I'm not on my normal chess level. I'm clearly below my normal chess level. Even in Banter Blitz, I play better than this. So Banter Blitz is some kind of a weird chess where we need to be talking all the time and we can't really focus 100% on playing well. So all of us, well, maybe not all of us, there are some exceptions, but most of us play worse in Banter Blitz than in real life because it's not so easy to be talking, putting on a show, and playing at the same time Blitz games. That's the fun about Banter Blitz, and that's why you guys always have a chance against us. Anyone can beat us sometimes. But today it's not about one or two games where I can lose. Today I feel like everyone could win. So why do you make a draw dancing chess when it's my worst day? It's my worst day of the year and you make a draw. So too much respect. Thank you for respecting me way too much today. I mean, I always claim that we should all have respect for everyone, but today don't respect my chess level because it's clearly suffering. I know I'm active, so I'm compensating somewhat for the lack of the pawn, but still, I mean, you have so many ideas. One idea would be bishop e6. Let's attack this pawn. If I push h4, you gain the light squares, and look at your bishop now. So, I don't like h4 at all, but what are the alternatives? Knight g1. No, let's not talk about that. Horrible. g4. Queen c7 and queen f4. No, I think bishop e6 and you should be winning. It's this simple. Because my king is weak, it's vulnerable. I'm lacking the g2 bishop. I'm lacking the fianchetto bishop. So bishop e6, I believe if you would have played bishop e6, then you're winning the game. It's this simple. Oh, thank you guys for the nice comments in the chat. I made my first point, half a point, but hey, you gotta score at some point. So this is my first half point of the day. Step by step. Next game I might even win, who knows? Let's go for the next game. Thank you for the game dancing chess once again, and also for respecting me way too much. You should respect me, and I respect you as a person, but today, no respect for my chess level, please. My next opponent, go and try to crush me. I'm telling you, today is the day when you can do it. Today is your chance. Take advantage of it. Take advantage of this opportunity that Anna is not doing very well. Challenge me with increments. I see some challenges without increment. That's even, I'm having a bad day, but if you don't even give me increment, we have nothing to talk about, really. So at least challenge me with increment. Okay, Big Boy RG 2015. Chess 24 is very nice, giving me all the white pieces. Does it help? Not at all. I have scored half a point out of 3 games. The Scandinavian defense. How will I want to play against it? That's the question. Hi Fuxia, how are you doing? If you are just joining, I'm blundering all my pieces. Today is the day when Anna plays her worst chess so far in 2018. I'm calling this the worst day in 2018. It's that bad. So you know it's that bad when you can clearly highlight it as your worst day in 2018. Why are you trading a queen after giving me your bishop? Because I love playing with the pair of bishops, so I will accept it. At least I can't blunder my queen anymore. I can't blunder the queen. You see, there's always something to celebrate. I can't blunder the queen anymore. Yeah, thank you for the game dancing chess. I know, Fuxia, you should challenge. I'm telling everyone, today is the day when you can crush me, because today I'm clearly in a horrible shape. Take advantage of it. I'm telling you, take advantage of it. Pair of bishops, but I'm lacking development. d4 to control the center. After bishop d6, of course, an idea would be c4 to threaten c5 fork. And I might just do that. If he plays c5, I'll play bishop e3 or take on c5. So let's do this, yeah. Why not? So far I see no reason why not to play it. To be fair, Fuxia, you were not here before. The previous game was just plain bad. I lost a pawn, and then dancing chess respected me too much and he repeated moves when he could have played on and played for a win. So the only half point I make today is because I was a pawn down and dancing chess respects me too much. I was telling you, let's respect each other as human beings, but don't respect my chess today, because it doesn't deserve it today. Second, I was going to highlight the other 2 games I lost. The first and the second, I was winning in both games, and then I seriously blundered. So the recipe for today so far have been, for me, I only score when I play horrible, and then my opponent gives me a draw. If I'm in a winning position, I'm gonna lose it. So maybe I shouldn't aim to have a good position. That could be one way to go. Can I trap that bishop somehow, ever? No, I don't think so. Let's play this because it's sometimes tricky that I have these discovered attacks. So that's my conclusion. Since I was winning in the first 2 games and I lost both games, I shall not aim for a winning position. I shall aim for a bad position. As bad as possible. Just kidding, of course, but hey. This is how it has been. I want to trade the dark squared bishop because I'm looking at the d6 square. That's a very tasty square for the knight. Bishop takes d2. I want to take back with the king. King takes d2 because you don't need to castle anymore. There are no queens on the board. I think bishop e7 is smart in a way that it will cover the d6 square. So he wants to protect that, but it's a bit passive too. So pros and cons. And I will still aim for that square with bishop f4. Oh no, Fuxia, you are also not having a very good day, I see. You lost on time in a 10+10 game? Oh no, no, no. That really sounds bad, but if you look back, check later the replay or simply my games here on Chess24. If you look back, the first 2 games I lost, you will feel better. So do that. Do that for me. You will feel better about your loss if you check the 2 games I lost today. I think everyone should feel better if you look at those games. So anytime you are sad or anytime you're upset about a loss, let's make a pre-move. It could be the second pre-move of the day. Whoa! There's always something to celebrate, I'm telling you. Second pre-move of the day. So, and I have the dark square bishop. I'm loving this position, but it's too good. I think my position is too nice. It's dangerously nice. And when I have such a nice position, I might just lose it. Alright, if c5, he takes the d5 square with his knight, so I don't want to give up the d5 square just yet. The bishop, I would normally like to keep it on this diagonal, but bishop a3 I don't like. Bishop b4, a5, bishop c5, bishop c5. I'm feeling like I don't have much space there. Let's not place the bishop on squares where they can get trapped. You know what happened to me in the previous 2 games, so I'm gonna be careful with not having so much space for my pieces. Oh, let me win. I am very positive, so I'm making fun of myself for having such a bad day. But don't think that I'm in pain. No, not at all. I'm telling you that yes, when you blunder badly, when you lose a bad game, such, you remember them better and that helps you learn. So it's useful, it's needed for chess improvement that we have bad days and bad games. It's needed, but I recover very quickly emotionally. So in chess and in life, luckily it's one of my features, one of my traits, that I don't spend much time being sad. I think life is too short to waste it on being down. So of course I always have bad moments. I'm not always happy. You might think sounds crazy, right? No, yeah, I'm a human. But I don't spend much time thinking about the negative stuffs, losses or other negative, sad things in my life. I don't think about them too much. You need to, of course, if there's some problem. You should find a way to solve them. So I always try to see the opportunities instead of the difficulties. That's my usual thinking, and it's the same in chess. So I'm not going to be thinking about those losses. I'm making fun of them. It's good to make fun of them. c5 with the idea of bishop d6 later is one way to go. d5 could be another idea later. So if I play rook e1 to threaten d5, I just feel like c5 bishop d6 looks very nice, but then I cannot open the position with his knight on d5. That's the thing about it. But if I play rook f1, he has time for king f8. He hides his king. Maybe I shouldn't care. Let's just take it slowly. Let's take this slowly. Oh, Fuxia, don't tell me about the Slav. I tried to play it. I did watch Topika's video series, the Triangle Slav. I'm recommending it to everyone. It's a great video series, but I couldn't play the Slav. I just couldn't. I could not. Okay, let's expand on the queen side. I can play bishop d6 first, but I feel like I could keep that check for later. If he plays rook d8, well, I won't be able to do that later, but anyway. Or not. Give me a second. Maybe I should stay. No, I'm gonna give a check and then a4, because if a4, a5, and my bishop is on d6, then I like that I always have bishop c5. So I was telling you earlier, I don't want my bishop on c5, but depending on the position, I might want it there. Depends. He will still have knight d7, so it's not like I'm achieving anything with bishop c5, but who knows? I'm just trying to make it unpleasant for him. So this position, it's all about creating small goals, small missions. One such mission is to gain space on the queen side. That's what I have just achieved. This bishop is a bit in the way, so I'm gonna move it away from b3. I might push b4 later. And I'm hoping that at some point I could break through. Because for my 2 bishops, I would love to have an open position. Where's that knight going? I'm not quite sure. Not quite sure where you're going with that. So I'm gonna come back here, or bishop a4. Bishop a4 I like because it's pinning. So d5 could be an idea in some positions. Or b5. Don't have much time. That's the thing. What things can I blunder here? The bishop on the e6 is unprotected. I can blunder it right now. Let's not do that. Let's come back here. Or c5. No, I don't want to push c5 unless it's forced. Because that gives up the c5. If I push c5, it gives up the d5 square. That's what I was going to tell you. I placed the bishop on h2 and not g3 because I didn't like knight h5 and knight f4, giving him a tempo for that knight maneuver. He could double rooks on the d5, that's one idea. I can do the same, I can double too, so that I can protect the d4 pawn. He's coming back. Interesting. Let's double. Maybe it's not the best moment to double, by the way, because now my rook is unprotected. Who knows what can happen to this unprotected piece? And why not rook d3 if I'm already doing this? Oh, this is the moment when I'm down to 20 seconds. I have a great position. I love my position, to be honest. I should have played rook d3 earlier, so now I'm correcting myself with an extra move. So, I'm telling you, it's a nice position for white. More space, pair of bishops. I have everything I could ask for. But I don't have time. Plus, it's not a good day for me today. So, what's gonna happen in the game? No one knows. I can lose on time. I can blunder something. So many things can happen. So many things can happen. You might want to double now, but g4. What is this exactly going? Where is he going? I don't know where am I going either. Gaining some space. I'm gaining space on both flanks. That's good. So positionally, white should be winning here. Because I have everything I could ask for. Seriously, I have everything I could ask for. More space, pair of bishops. Control on both flanks. Look at my pieces. I mean, he can barely move his pieces. So I'm gonna make some quick moves. I should push d5 in the right moment, but I don't have time to calculate it. That's the thing. When can I push d5? Not now. So I'm gonna bring the king too. When's the right moment? Shall I play bishop a4 and then d5? No, that's not working. Okay, I shall find a way to push d5. Now, this could be. Or not, because the only thing I didn't like is that there was rook e7. So, now if he moves the knight away from e7, I'm gonna push d5. I didn't want my bishop to be pinned. Let's pre-move. So this is what I wanted. This is exactly what I wanted. I'm gonna take back with the rook if he captures, because I don't want to be pinned. And again with the rook if he takes. And I could have pre-moved, but I didn't. Knight d6 to protect that pawn, and then I bring my king. What is this exactly? I'm gonna come here and win the e6 pawn. Next move, bishop takes a6. I'm winning. Oh, but he's tricky. You see, he's being tricky. I don't give up my bishops. I mean, this is not a game where I would give up my bishops. So I want to take this both. I mean, both were very good. Taking the piece for 2 pawns, or taking the a6 pawn and promoting the a pawn later. So these were my 2 options, and both were very good. And he can't win the a pawn, that's the thing. So then I'm gonna be promoting it, and he will need to give up a knight for the a pawn. So it's gonna be a piece up no matter what. He can't even move the knights properly, so it's complete domination. The a6 bishop is dominating the d6 knight, and the e8 knight cannot move because it's protecting the d6 knight and has no squares. So this position is complete domination. Thank you, Big Boy RG 2015. This is my first game that I win today, and I'm afraid it's the last because I have completely run out of time. I will spend the rest of the time. I will stay here for a couple of more minutes still, but I don't have time for another game. What I will do in the remaining time is to show you this game because I thought it was very instructive. Big boy, first of all, kudos to you for fighting so hard. You defended very well an inferior position. The position for black is unpleasant. I would say almost from here. This is of course too much to claim. It's only a slightly better position for white, but by giving up the bishop and then trading queens, all you achieve is a slightly worse endgame. So in all these positions, white should be better because I have the bishops. Maybe here it wasn't that bad for you if you trade the bishops and allow knight d6, or, I mean, you don't even have to allow it. You can play king e7 here to protect the d6 square. And if I push c5 to be able to jump to d6, then you always have the d5 square for your knight. So you also gain something. You have an outpost, I have an outpost, we both have outposts, we are outpost people. So this could have been one way to go. It's slightly worse. I'm telling you that all these positions, because white has more space and it's easier to play as white because of the more space, it's easier to activate your pieces, easier to maneuver, but it shouldn't be much. So I think one way to go was to capture, but bishop e7 too shouldn't be so bad. Knight f6, yeah, here this is the problem. I was telling you bishop e7 is not too bad, and I was praising you when you played bishop e7, but in hindsight, after bishop f4, I'm not sure you're doing so well. Because knight d6 is a threat, and I'm gonna gain the bishops. I will have the pair of bishops. So, I think, in hindsight, you should trade the bishops. Even though during the game I also felt like bishop e7 was okay. But now, analyzing it calmly, I believe you don't have time for it. So, strategically, yes, it makes sense to keep the bishop. In a concrete way of thinking, there was no time for it because I'm threatening knight d6. All these things are positional advantages. So I'm not claiming that there's anything big going on for white here, not even here. But I have the pair of bishops and more space. So both of those things are pluses in my position. And you can't really compensate for it unless you get an outpost for your knight. So the knights can fight the bishops when the knights have outposts. But I'm not going to push c5. This is why I was telling you guys that I'm not going to push c5, even though later, sometimes it was really tempting. Here, for instance, it was tempting and I considered it, c5, because next move can be bishop d6 check, and I'm not allowing the king to escape, so you have to come back to d7. But after c5 and the knight jumping to d5, how can I open the position? I cannot push d5. The only way would be bishop c4 and later a3, b4, b5. It's possible, but I don't believe in it so much. You can always try a6 or not care so much about b5. This should also be better for white, these kind of positions, but I prefer to have the option of opening the center. So I don't like pushing c5 for white in these positions because that's the one thing I don't want you to have. I don't want you to have an outpost for your knights. And this pawn push does just that. The bad thing for black is that he has two knights and he would only have one square for them. So one outpost for two knights. If we trade, you would be much better off because now it's only one piece for one square. Having to have the f6 knight here as a backup for the d5 knight is not so good. But you are threatening knight e4. You are threatening to chase my bishop away and attack it, try to trade it. Not so difficult to defend against it. I can play rook e1, but still, I'm telling you, this is something to have the knight there. The other knight is passive, but at least one of your knights are okay. That's why I did not play c5. Later, let's just scroll through the game, gaining space on the queen side, and then gaining more space on the king side later, what I did. Here, I was just telling you guys that the rook on d2 is silly, because the moment I play rook d1, it allows knight t4 with a tempo. Perhaps it's nothing, but as white, what I want to do is to improve my position step by step, little by little, in a way that I don't give any counter chance for black. So my position is really nice, and I can do anything I want, but it also means that I don't want any mess. So any trouble. That's why I was worried about this move. Maybe there's nothing about it, so there's no e5 exploiting the d5 pin. But just in case, I like my rook more on d3 and then double, so that there's no knight e4 ever. Yes, it's also unprotected here, that's why I didn't play it, but it's unprotected on d2 too. I played that a move later, and I will just show you very quickly that here, all these moves, you were trying hard, but it's very difficult to create counterplay here as black. It's a passive position. I think one way to play would have been to double rooks on the d file earlier, try and put pressure on this d4 pawn, but it's not easy because I can also double on the d file. So let's just go to the critical moment in the game because we have been looking at these positions. So white has more space on both flanks. It's a beautiful position, and here the only thing is that I thought with the king on e3 it was a bit too early to push d5. Maybe I'm wrong. I could have done it. Yeah, I think I could have done it here if I trade rooks. Because initially I didn't want to trade rooks. My idea initially was to take back with the bishop, and I didn't like rook e7 pinning my bishop. That's why I moved the king away before pushing d5. So I'm telling you, you can be very patient in these positions because black has nothing to do. Just going back and forth, and you can push d5 in the moment that's the best for you. Place your pieces first, ideally. Be ready to open the position. And once you are ready and your opponent's pieces are not as good as they could be, so I'm pushing d5 the moment the knight goes away, of course, because that's when he cannot take on d5 with so many pieces. Yes, you could try to keep the knight on e7, but then other problems I could cause. I can play for b5, I can prepare to play b5, I can prepare to push g5 on the king side too, depending on how I place my pieces. So white has lots of ways to play, but black has no space and it's a very passive position. So for a human, it's very difficult to defend. For an engine, it's possible because they might be repeating the same move over and over and over. But I think for a human, this is very tough to play. Thank you for the game, big boy. And thanks everyone for tuning in today to witness the worst day of my life in 2018 in terms of chess. But I've been telling you that I'm gonna be the first to laugh at my level today. So if you wanna join me and laugh at it, feel free. I don't mind comments on how badly I played today because I agree with you. Thumbs up. Thumbs up to those comments. I agree with you. Today has been clearly the worst day of my life in terms of chess level in Banter Blitz shows. So I hope that you had fun watching it. I hope that you enjoyed those games. Congratulations to everyone who beat me today. Congratulations also to Dancing Chess for the draw, for being generous, giving me a draw instead of trying to win. That was too much respect in terms of chess. And Big Boy, you fought very hard, so congratulations to you as well. I will see you guys next Wednesday. I think a bit later, depending on what time I can stream, but it will be announced on Chess24. Keep on watching the Chess Olympiad because the commentator is the nicest person I know. And the most professional too. She's an amazing commentator and amazing friend. Sopika, Miss Tactics, is the commentator of the Baku was 2 years ago, that's where I was. Batumi Chess Olympiad. She's commentating with Grandmaster Ivan Sokolov. Make sure to tune in to their commentary every single day, every day here on Chess24. And Sopika's husband is playing the competition for the Netherlands. He played one of the main games of the day today against Fabiano Caruana. Check out that game if you haven't yet. And simply root for your countries. Root for your countries. Just Chess Olympiad is beautiful. It's an amazing event. I've been to every single Chess Olympiad since 2008, either as a player, commentator, or reporter. This is the first one I skip in 10 years, so it feels weird. It feels strange, but I simply couldn't fit it into my calendar this year, unfortunately. And I was asked to go, so I had to refuse this year because of my schedule. It's a pity, but I'm going in 2 years because I'm missing it already. See you guys next Wednesday, and I wish everyone a lovely week. Thumbs up for these comments in advance. I'm not gonna be checking them properly. I don't usually hang out on YouTube reading comments, but if you want to leave me comments in terms of how bad those games were, feel free to do that. I will support you 100%. See you next Wednesday. Bye-bye.